Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Thursday, the 12th of November. Looking at the euro dollar first then, and yesterday we ended up with a positive close. In this sort of chop zone at the moment, it's sold off through the Asian session and selling off quite hard back towards its daily pivot at the moment. Maybe it'll run through back towards the daily bands again. Looking relatively bearish on the 4 hours at the moment. If this was to continue, you'd almost expect it to continue selling off. The picture from the hourlies, well, as I said, we're about 4 pips away, I think, at the moment, 4 or 5 pips away from the daily pivot. It's already hit the R1. It does make it quite awkward to be trading in the morning when it's done such a move through the sort of Asian session. It's been sort of up and down and taken some of our profit targets immediately away from us. Anyway, we'll see how it works out this morning, but at the moment, let's just confirm what we're seeing on this sort of hourly point of view. We've got this higher high relative to and higher low. If we can get any sort of reversal off here, it would be a higher low, and I'd be looking for continuation back towards that weekly pivot that still sits there. However, as we're running through the week and the fact that it's struggling to get anything beyond that 107.90 area, you do wonder if it's got any legs to do it anyway. There's nothing significant coming out, which really, I mean, we've got Draghi speaking at 8:30 today. I think he's testifying on monetary policy before the Committee of Economic and Monetary Affairs in Brussels. But you've got to remember, he's going to be talking to them in telling them, and regardless of the questions, what's already been said. So largely, whilst at 8:30 we're going to see some volatility, it may be limited to some degree. Beyond that, he's then speaking again. He's a busy chap today. He's looking at what's he doing? He's speaking at the European Systematic Risk Board at the European Parliament in Brussels. So he's continuing to talk about risk. Well, okay. So it's at 10:30. So maybe some more volatility around then. We do have Yellen speaking this afternoon from the Fed, the US, but she's delivering the opening remarks at a conference on monetary policy implementation in post-crisis period. Well, you never know. At 2:30 we could get some bit more volatility at that point. So we've got some speakers out there which may give us some kickers. For me, starting trading this morning is not the best of morning, so I've got to wait until I see something more confirmed here at the moment. So there's the euro. So we'll look at cable. The cable's back to its regression trend line here. Yesterday moved back in, so it just popped through it a little bit, sitting around its moving averages here, the 8 moving average rather. It's been making a series on the shorter time frame, and said this yesterday. When you start looking at the alleys now, it's looking more positive than anything else. We do have the daily pivot below us, but it's been putting in a series of these higher lows all the way through, and these higher highs running through. So so it's certainly in a current upward trend now in this sort of intermediate period. We have got the pivot below us here, which could yet be the daily pivot. It could yet be tested. A break of this upward trend, I could be looking back for the R1 again, a test back to that. It's pulled quite a long way off of it. So there is that potential. Never got particularly extreme on that level, so it reduces its chances maybe. And we've got the daily pivot below. I'd prefer to see that taken out first before really getting long on this market. So there is a bit of conflict there, but as I say, it's just being air kissed at R1, so maybe a chance of it going back up there and testing again. But we have, as I say, we're in this intermediate time frame. We are sitting in high lows, high highs, which suggests upward trend. Dollar yen. Okay, dollar yen. Well, a little bear flag, bull flag rather, bull flag on the, thinking bearish because it's bearish as the yen's pushing up. It's sitting in this flag pattern at the moment here. it's really, the range has tightened quite significantly. So at the moment, it's just, well, I've put an early trend line on here, which is sort of just pushing out of, but I'd look at this again. Got that 50 MA that seems to be holding things up. It's right bang on its daily pivot. There is a chance it could push up and catch the R1, maybe carry on pushing beyond into yesterday's highs and maybe even to the R2 area there with Tuesday's highs. But at the moment, well, they're very consolidated. Aussie dollar, well, you can guess there was some good news out. Jobs, absolutely stonking jobs report. Got to remember in the bigger picture though, as much as this is nice at the moment, we are still at the moment sitting on a daily perspective of lower highs, lower lows, and it's really, if we can, there's a trend line that sits across there. If we start breaking that, well then the Aussie's more into from a daily perspective into a more bullish scenario. However, well, certainly looks relatively bullish now. Whether we'll see a bit of this given back today, just running into its 4-hourly 100, coming down to the hourlies. Well, I don't think there's much chance of the daily pivot being hit from where it is. It's sitting outside its R3 at the moment, which could just see it come back in that sort of region, maybe to the 20s. But with the news being so positive, you almost don't want to be going against this. But often with news it regresses, but this is more significant news. They've been looking for some key data, but we could just see it coming back maybe towards the 21, some part of the way there. So if it does break those lows, well, it could be on. I think, as I say, I think it'd be a hard case for it to pull back towards the daily pivot. Okay, and finally I'm going to look at the Canadian dollar again. Again, we've got a bull flag sitting here. It's been matching yen a lot of the time and looking like the yen a lot of the time intraday, and it's currently matching. Whilst the speed of some of this moves died off, well, it's still pushing up. It's still looking relatively strong. I mean, 3 down days at the moment. This could go positive at some stage. If we break the highs of that trend line, of the trend across the top there, well, maybe you should be looking on the bullish side for this. At the moment, you've got to just, again, look at what's actually happening with the lower lows and lower highs that are coming through. There is some chop here which is confusing the matter, but in general, you've got a series of lower lows running through. So difficult at the moment in terms of identifying exactly the daily pivot's already been touched, so that's out of the way. It's already hit the S1, that's out of the way. As I say, if it can get past and through the pivot there, or maybe it'll push back up towards yesterday's highs in the R1. But at the moment, well, just sliding its way down in this intermediate time frame. So really looking bearish effectively. Okay, it's still got the daily pivot underneath there, so that weekly pivot, so that could actually be hit at some point. Looking through, okay, finally, we've already looked through all the news in terms of Draghi speaking, Yellen speaking, so some key speakers there today, the heads of the relative central banks. We have got NPC speaker at 5 o'clock, but it's medium sort of level. We're due to speak to the Trade Union Congress. I don't think that's going to create a lot of fuss in 5 o'clock this afternoon, early evening. And FOMC Dudley speaking at 5:15. But by that time, we're normally wrapped up, so I don't think it will create too much of a excitement at that point. Right, that's it for me. Hope you have a great day. I'll be back in the morning. Bye for now.